Hello folks, we are back with another video. This one is all about Chewlery. I didn't even know that was a term until having kids. But all of these items here are all different, well, with the exception of this isn't really jewelry, but all of these are different chew items. We'll start off with the Lego one here. So this we actually got in a 3-pack on Amazon. These are pretty cool because they, well, not only to come in a 3-pack and they're only $8, but they are super cool, you know, especially for a kid who, like our oldest, loves Legos and building. This is great for them to be able to carry around. It kind of represents something that they like. It helps them as a fidget. It's got all sorts of texture. It can bend, it can flex. It's got texture on the back as well, so it's got all these little dots and spots, and it has like the typical like Lego stud kind of feeling on the front here. It does have a breakaway clasp here like some of the other ones do, so if it gets pulled too hard, it'll just pop out. This one's been popped and unpopped several times, so it's a little bit easier on this. It has the adjustment on here, which is kind of stuck right now, but I'll have to work on that later. Oh, that popped off. So our kiddos have really used these particular ones very hard. They really like these Lego ones. This is not the first one, but probably like the second or third piece that we had gotten. The one we got very first, I'll talk about here in a second, but that really got us into this with our oldest when he was probably 2.5 to 3. And then it kind of opened our eyes to a lot of these other ones. So this one's very cool, especially as your kids get older. This one is, again, it was $8 on Amazon for a pack of 3. You get a green, a red, and a blue. They're BPA-Free. Again, it's, you know, helps as a fidget. It can also be used to chew on. Especially for the necklace, so kids aren't chewing on their clothes or fingers. Good for ADHD and whatnot. And it has the safety clasp for the pulling apart. This one you guys may remember as being part of our November sensory box. So I wanted to include this one in here as well. There's several other different ones. Forgot the brand on this one specifically, but I actually decided to just look it up on Amazon and see what other varieties they are, because I felt like this one was a little bit pricey for what they were saying in the sensory therapy. And so when I looked this up, I found a lot of other different options. So I selected one that was most similar to this particular one, with one that had some like different colors, because they have plenty of their solid colors, but to have one that had several different colors on it. I came up with the Mommy's Touch. It's a 3-pack. You get a plain black one, a plain white one, and then kind of a multicolored one, and it's only $15, which I believe is what they were saying for just this one in sensory therapy. And I looked at all the stats on this, as far as what material it is, as far as what they're saying about it, and as far as like how this one had the texture on the sides and the texture on this side, and then, you know, the flexibility and everything. And from what I could tell is it's pretty much the same thing, which I'm sure a lot of these products are basically the same thing, basically the same materials, in different shapes and different, you know, colors and all that. So for the value, and I'll put the link to this one in the description below, along with all the other links, of course. But I would say if you wanted to get, you know, like this shark tooth kind of idea, I would get this 3-pack. They're even running a sale right now with the coupon. So if you check the little box that they have on there, you'll save an extra 5%. So to me, that seems pretty awesome. You get 3 of them. Same with the Lego brick ones. You got a package of 3, so I think that's pretty cool. So if you have a kid who, you know, really likes the idea of a shark tooth, then they'll be able to have 3 of them. They can have one, you know, they can take with them to school if they're going to school, or, you know, have one in the car, one at the house, and so on. So and again, this one, as we showed before, this has the breakaway also, so if it pulls on it, it breaks away. This one our kids haven't used as much, so this one is a little bit stiffer than the Lego brick one, but I mean, again, it's the same idea. Same thing with the adjustment. You have the same idea on this as well. So that is the shark tooth. And then the one I was going to tell you about next was one unfortunately we don't have. We're in the process of moving, so we have a lot of stuff packed up. So there will be more videos into the future as we go through the process of unpacking all of our stuff and giving our kids a chance to look at the new toys that they have, which have just been packed up for months and months. But it is basically similar to this bracelet. It's these little round beads, but the thing we had was a necklace. It was a very long necklace, and so with this one, you'd probably want to be a little bit more careful with young kids with it, because we actually were worried here and there about our son being young and actually choking by having it wrapped around his neck and stuff. And so we definitely monitored that very closely when he was playing with it and everything. And then made sure that, when it was bedtime, it gets put away and all that. So he wasn't, getting tangled up at night and stuff. But it was very cool. It was very well made. Unfortunately, they don't sell that specific one anymore. But I did find one that's similar. Again, I'll have it in a link below. But I believe it was a little bit more expensive than this one. This one was, that I found was $11, $10.98. And it is the Amethyst Teether Rainbow Silicone Teething Nursing Necklace. Again, BPA-free, latex-free, so on and so forth. With, again, that's that standard material. Like pretty much every company is going to have basically that same standards. If you're going to have something kids are going to chew on, they have to have some sort of a standard. And most of the companies will abide by that unless you're getting something really cheap off a shady site. So the great thing about this one that we got, though, is around each and every bead. I don't think this one has it. You can kind of see in between each bead. It's just the string. But with this particular one, this necklace, it actually was knotted on each side of each bead, which was great because that way, it isn't all jamming up to one side or the other side. It was each individualized and separated, which was great for nervousness and chewing on things and like wrenching it back and forth. You would have that little knot that it was stopped on. So it was very, very well made. I wish that they still made that one. Unfortunately, like I said, they don't. But I will double check this one a little bit more. From what I've seen on this particular one that I found, it does appear to be the same quality that was being made. So I think this one would be a good alternative to the one that we got. Oh man, it's got to be like 4 or 5 years ago now. So there's that was that necklace. We do have another one. I'll get to that one after this. So this one right here, this we just got for our oldest at around Christmas time, and he's been using this one. Same idea as the necklace, but it's obviously smaller for putting onto a wrist. A small wrist, I can't even get it around my hand very well, and it doesn't expand. These kind of move a little bit, the beads, but the string itself doesn't expand, so it can't. You have to really work at it to get it on, because you have to basically be squishing the beads down. But this one is the Chewable by Woombie Silicone Teething Bracelet. Again, same things with all the materials, latex-free, BPA-free, so on, silicone. This one we got for him as he was, doing school. We figured it'd be, more discreet than maybe a necklace or something. Although he was wearing the Lego necklace one for a while, but his school actually didn't want necklaces anymore. Probably something to do with kids yanking on them and stuff. So we got the bracelet for him instead, to be used again as a teether, kind of nervousness and wanting to chew on stuff. So instead of chewing on clothes, using this to chew on instead. And then obviously on a wrist, you could be fidgeting with it around your wrist and squishing the beads and stuff to get rid of some of that nervous energy. So this one is on Amazon as well, as most of our stuff, and this was $8.99, so basically $9. Yeah, this one has worked out pretty well so far. We got black because that is his favorite color, so We thought that would be good, but they have a variety of different colors. Right now I'm only seeing like an off-white and a red, but they do have an image showing like a ton of colors. So they probably are just out of stock right now. So we do have another bracelet that we had gotten a little while back. This is when our youngest were very young. And it is similar to this one, but the beads, instead of being just perfectly round, they're more like a diamond shape, which is kind of cool. And then it had like a little star on one side of it. We got it on Amazon as well, and it is called the this one. This one is a little bit different again, because I couldn't find the exact one. This one has another component to it. It has like a ring that goes around, so it can like move around. Kind of like if you were to put this D part around the beads, and then you could like move it around in there. So it gives the kids, you know, that much more of a sensory kind of component to moving it around the items, and then you can squish it and then bite it and whatnot. This one is called just Baby Teether. Again, BPA-free, silicone, and it's suggested for 3 months and up. It is $13.97, so basically $14. And it is rainbow colored, so again, for really young kids, you get the sensation of the colors, and then the different shapes, and then it has that ring that moves around, and then the star, then, you know, being able to chew on the whole thing. It's a really nice one. Again, it's one of the ones we packed up, unfortunately, because our kiddos were not using it as much as they used to. So we just decided to get it put away for a little while and then bring it out again later. Put it away for a little while, and then we could always bring it out again later. The last thing are these little guys right here. These are the Chewable Tubes, Super Tubes is what they're called. They are a set of 2, and they were essentially $15. Again, on Amazon. And the cool thing about these is, you know, kids can hold on to them really well. They can carry them around. They have the this texturing on the this shaft part, and then the rest of it is smooth. And then you have, you know, it's obviously really flexible, and you can, you know, fidget with it a lot. We got these for both our youngest, our 2-year-olds, our two 2-year-olds, and our 6-year-old. We figured you could have this in like the car, and so they could fidget with it as we're driving around to, you know, whatever appointments we're going to, or school or something like that. And then, you know, obviously you can chew on it, or you can have one at home and one in the car kind of thing. But these are great. We found these were kind of a little bit of an upgrade from the bracelet that I was just mentioning, the rainbow one, as our kids were getting a little bit older. They didn't want the bracelet. They wanted something a little bit different. So we got this, and it kind of like almost as if they were getting older and felt more important having something like this as opposed to the little bracelet baby toy, kind of how they looked at it. So this is really nice. Again, these knobs provide a lot of good texture for when they're chewing on it. And then again, you have the flexibility and being able to just squish it and move it around. And then it's pretty, you know, it's almost like a key. So you have that little play with that, and you can twist it as well. So it's a really good quality item, and you get 2 of them. You could probably find this for a little bit cheaper than $14, $15. But these are really, really nice. I would definitely suggest these. They do have ones also, it looks like, that are totally smooth as well. They also have some suggestions for ones that are different shapes, like a T shape and just a T shape. So instead of it having this D part on that, it just goes straight across. And then they have other ones that are more like a flattened D. So if you flatten it out to one side, just so it looks a little bit different, a little bit of a variety. But there's plenty of these. There even have some that are in the shape of some letters. So there's a lot of different ideas for these. These are just the ones that we have. If we ever find those other ones in the future, we can show you those. But yeah, these are a small picture of our Chewlery collection. with these different necklaces, and then the bracelets, and these little D-ring kind of key looking guys. So let us know what you guys have used on with your kiddos. I've also seen that they, when you look any of this kind of stuff up, they also have a lot of ones for moms to actually wear, that instead of, being, silly or funny, they're actually meant to look more like actual jewelry. So, you might have like one that looks like a little leaf, or, something like that. So a mom can wear, if they want to choose to wear some sort of like a jewelry piece, that actually doubles as, a baby's chew item. So if they're, walking around the store or something, they can, somewhat look nice with a piece of jewelry. And then their baby can also be chewing on it without any fear of, if it was an actual piece of jewelry, of like, some part of that coming off and them choking on it or something like that. So as with any of these, you also always want to check to make sure that kids aren't like ripping chunks out of them, and kind of biting them. And I would possibly be concerned about this as kids get older, them chomping this and like biting pieces off. So you just always want to check that. But let us know in the comments below, again, all the different things that you've tried, any of the different varieties, and put links in there of different ones that you like the best. If you're a mom and you've used some of these as jewelry and then double dutied it for your kids, let us know that too. We were curious about that, and I actually suggested that to my wife at one point, but she wasn't super into that. So, but yeah, stay tuned for more videos like this, and any new updates we have for different items that we're checking out. And we're going to be looking at building some sensory bins here in the future too, so stay tuned for that.